Welcome to today's lesson of Online School of Entrepreneurship. I am Dr. Kirian Mfam. In this lecture, we will look at the management functions or processes of management. Many functions have been attributed to management, and they include the following. 1. Planning. Planning is the ongoing process of developing the business mission and objectives and determining how they will be accomplished. Planning includes both the broadcast view of the organization, that is, its mission, and the narrowest, that is, the tactics for accomplishing a specific goal. Planning is the most fundamental and the most pervasive of all management functions. If people working in groups have to perform effectively, they should know in advance what is to be done, what activities they have to perform in order to do what is to be done, and when it is to be done. Planning is concerned with what, how, and when of performance. It is deciding in the present about the future objectives and courses of action for their achievement. It thus involves the following. A. Determination of long and short range objectives. B. Development of strategies and courses of actions to be followed for the achievement of these objectives. And C. Formulation of policies, procedures and rules, etc. for the implementation of strategies and plans. The organizational objectives are set by top management in the context of its basic purpose and mission, environmental factors, business forecast, and available potential resources. These objectives are both long range as well as short range. They are divided into divisional, departmental, sectional, and individual objectives or goals. This is followed by the development of strategies and courses of action to be followed at various levels of management and in various segments of the organization. Policies, procedures, and rules provide the framework of decision making and the methods and order for making and implementation of these decisions. 2. Organizing. Organizing is an essential function of management. It is a process of accumulating resources from different sources in order to work according to the plans laid out by the management. Organizing involves identification of activities required for the achievement of enterprise objectives and implementation of plans, grouping of activities into jobs, assignment of these jobs and activities to departments and individuals, delegation of responsibility and authority for performance, and the provision for vertical and horizontal coordination of activities. Every manager has to decide what activities have to be undertaken in his department or section for the achievement of the goals entrusted to him. Having identified the activities, he has to group identical or similar activities in order to make jobs, assign these jobs or groups of activities to his subordinates, delegate authority to them so as to enable them make decisions and initiate action for undertaking these activities, and provide for coordination between himself and his subordinates and among his subordinates. Organizing thus involves the following sub-functions. A. identification of activities required for the achievement of objectives and implementation of plans. B, grouping the activities so as to create self-contained jobs. C, assignment of jobs to employees. G, delegation of authority so as to enable them to perform their jobs and to command the resources needed for their performance. E, establishment of a network of coordinating relationships. Organizing process results in a structure of the organization. It comprises organizational positions, accompanying tasks and responsibilities, and a network of roles and authority. Responsibility relationships. Organizing is thus the basic process of combining and integrating human, physical, and financial resources in productive interrelationships for the achievement of the enterprise objectives. It aims at combining employees and interrelated tasks in an orderly manner so that organizational work is performed in a coordinated manner and all efforts and activities put together in the direction of organizational goals. 3. Staffing. Staffing is a function in which qualified people are appointed to different positions relating to their skills and strengths. The activities included in this function are recruiting, hiring, training, evaluating, and compensating. Staffing is a continuous and vital function of management. After the objectives have been determined, strategies, policies, programs, procedures, and rules formulated for their achievement, activities for implementation of the strategies, policies, programs, etc. are identified and grouped into jobs. The next logical step in the management process is to procure suitable personnel for manning the jobs. Since the efficiency and effectiveness of an organization significantly depends on the quality of its personnel, and since it is one of the primary functions recognized as a distinct function of management, staffing comprises several sub-functions, including the following. A. Manpower planning, involving determination of the number and the kind of personnel required. B. Recruitment for attracting adequate number of potential employees to seek jobs in the enterprise. C. Selection of the most suitable persons for the jobs under consideration. D. Placement, induction, and orientation. E. Transfers, promotions, termination, and layoff. F. Training and development of employees. As the importance of human factor in organizational effectiveness is being increasingly recognized, staffing is gaining acceptance as a distinct function of management. It needs hardly any emphasis that no organization can ever be better than its people. Our managers must perform the staffing function with as much concern as any other function. 4. Directing. Directing is a function that comes after staffing of the organization. It is the function in which the management is supposed to lead, direct to a specific goal, and motivate the employees for the achievement of any objective, be it big or small. Directing is a function of leading the employees to perform efficiently and contribute their optimum to the achievement of organizational objectives. Jobs assigned to subordinates have to be explained and clarified. They have to be provided guidance in job performance and they are to be motivated to contribute their optimum performance with zeal and enthusiasm. The function of directing thus involves the following sub-functions: A. Communication, B. Motivation, and C. Leadership. 5. Coordination. Coordination is a function in which the performance of the organization is measured and then evaluated, after which the standard observed is determined to be either good or bad, which then in turn leads to taking preventive and corrective measures and actions. Coordinating is the function of establishing such relationships among various parts of the organization that they are together pull in the direction of organizational objectives. It is thus the process of tying together all the organizational decisions, operations, activities, and efforts so as to achieve unity of action and purpose for the accomplishment of organizational objectives. Coordination as a management function involves the following sub-functions: A. Clear definition of authority and responsibility relationships. B. Unity of direction. C. Unity of command. D. Effective communication. And E. Effective leadership. 6. Controlling. Controlling is the function of ensuring that the divisional, departmental, sectional, and individual performance are consistent with the predetermined objectives and goals of the entire organization. Deviations from objectives and plans have to be identified and investigated, and correction action taken. Deviations from plans and objectives provide feedback to managers and all other management processes, including planning, organizing, staffing, directing, and coordinating, are continuously reviewed and modified where necessary. Controlling implies that objectives, goals, and standards of performance exist and are known to employees and their superiors or supervisors. It also implies a flexible and dynamic organization which will permit changes in objectives, plans, programs, strategies, policies, organizational designs, staffing policies, practices, leadership style, communication system, etc. For it is not uncommon that employees' failure to achieve predetermined standards is due to defects or shortcomings in any one or more of the above mentioned dimensions of management. Thus, controlling involves the following processes: A. Management of performance against predetermined goals. B. Identification of deviations from these goals. And C. Corrective action to rectify deviations. It may be pointed out that although management functions have been discussed in a particular sequence, that is, from planning to organizing to staffing to directing to coordinating and controlling, they are not performed in a sequential or serial order. Management is an integral process, and it is difficult to put its functions neatly in separate boxes. Management functions tend to coalesce, and it sometimes becomes difficult to separate one from the other. For example, when the production manager is discussing work problems with one of his subordinates, it is difficult to say whether he is guiding, developing, or communicating, or doing all these things simultaneously. Moreover, managers often perform more than one function at the same time. Please, you can support us in this lecture series by 1. Following us on our Facebook page, Online School of Entrepreneurship. 2. Subscribing to our YouTube channel, Entrepreneurship Teacher. And 3. Liking, commenting, and sharing our post. Thank you, and see you in our next lecture.